Let's make epic melodic techno. Let's set the tempo to 126 BPM, and I'll start with a punchy kick from my sample pack. After 8 bars, let's add some closed hi-hats. Some open hi-hats. And some filler claps. After 8 bars, I'll put a kick on double time like this. And add some claps. And some crashes. Now, to make a fill at the middle of the drop, let's use this heavy clap from my sample pack. Let's link this to a mixer channel and add some reverb. And some delay. Then I'll add some shakers throughout the drop to add some texture. If you want to get these drums, they're from my sample pack, the House Maniac. It has more than 200 high-quality samples including kicks, claps, bass shots, bass loops, synths and more. Plus there are also 10 MIDI chord progressions. The pack is affordable and delivers the best sounds to make your songs great. If you can get the pack, I'll highly appreciate it and will be a huge support. The link's in the description. Moving on to the bass, let's first increase the swing, and use a bass from my Serum preset pack. We'll be just following the root note, but since this is boring, let's put some notes an octave up to groove em up. I'll turn this to mono. Add some compression. Some EQ. And some multiband compression around the highs. And let's side chain this to the kick using a limiter. Now we need some atmospheric pads. I'll sidechain this. Add some EQ. And some delay. Now we need some simple offbeat plucks to play in the background. Guys, since melodic techno uses a lot of different sounds instead of a one-lead melody, let's create around 4 or 5 call and response melodies using different sounds. I'll layer some more sounds to this. And I'll use kickstart to sidechain this to give it a subtle and weak sidechain effect. Let's take off the lows. And add some saturation. Now let's create another lead. I'll use kickstart to sidechain this. Add some stereo widening. Some EQ. Some reverb. And some delay. Now we need some different sounds to fill out these bars. Guys, if you want to get my Serum presets pack, there's a link in the description. The pack contains more than 100 presets of acids, basses, leads, plucks, pads, and stabs. The presets are super high quality and fit to almost all techno genres, and make your work faster and easier. Also, there's a discount for it during February, which you can apply by using the code TECHNO4 at the checkout. If you're interested in these presets, definitely check it out. The link's in the description. Now we need some vocals.
The spirit and the dust, the spirit and the dust. The spirit and the dust, the spirit and the dust. The spirit and the dust, and the dust, and the dust, and the dust. The spirit and the dust. The spirit and the dust. The spirit and the dust.
Let's loop the vocal for the rest of the drop. And at the second half, I'll add some more vocals to spice things up.
Strength. Spirit and the dust.
To make the vocals a lot more interesting, I'll create a volume automation, turn on the LFO mode and automate the speed to get a stuttering effect like this.
Strength. Burning, burning, burning. Weed, weed. Burning, weed.
Let's link all of these vocals to a mixer channel. Add some reverb,
Weed,
some delay,
weed,
and some EQ to take off the harsh frequencies.
weed.
Now we need a repetitive synth at the second half of the drop. I'll take the lows away from this, and add some auto panning. And some pads for tension. To make the track more interesting, I'll add some constant white noise in the background. Some downlifters. And some impacts. Since the drop is now done, let's move on to the intro and the build-up. Let's start with the kick and the bass, add the impact, the clap fill, and after 16 bars let's add the claps, the open hi-hats, the plucks, and the pads. I'll chop up the pads to fit it to 16 bars like this. And let's also add some synth sounds from the drop. Before the build-up, let's add a break section. For this let's keep the pads and the plucks, add the vocals, and a respace. And let's add the synth sounds from the drops in some random order to make a cool pattern.
Spirit and the dust.
Now we'll add some kicks to the second half of the break. And layer a crash like this.
Spirit and the dust. Spirit and the dust.
At the build-up, let's change the synths. Add some build-up drums.
Spirit and the dust.
Some risers. And use the clap fill before the drop hits. Now, to make the drop sound huge, let's create a low cut on the master and automate it during the build-up like this. Now let's duplicate this, and change the elements around in the second half to make the track feel different and interesting. So guys, our track is now done. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel, and let's see our final result.
The spirit and the dust. the spirit and the dust.